stocks have taken a hit over the last few months, with U.S. politicians making headlines and raising pricing issues, and even short sellers with accounting concerns. So, are there now value opportunities in the sector? David Tong, Senior Healthcare Analyst at Argus Research, joins me from New York via Skype. Good to have you, David.
Thank you very much, MaryAnn.
So, what do you see as the most interesting in the space right now?
You know, we're now almost 2 years into the rollout of the Affordable Care Act. That's added 25 million Americans under coverage, whether through extension of Medicaid or private insurance. 18 million were previously uninsured. That's a big expansion of the addressable market. So, you know, plenty of tailwinds there. We've seen impact almost across the board on this expansion of coverage. As for what you mentioned, the political environment, politicians have attacked the high price of drugs. Specifically, Hillary Clinton mentioned some things a few weeks ago. What I want to say about that is, there have been a political attacks on high drug prices before, but you want to look beyond the political rhetoric. The pharmaceutical industry has a long track record of R&D that produce innovative drugs that address critical needs and improve patients' lives. Policymakers, they do not want to stifle innovation. And, at bottom, we've got a Republican-controlled Congress, so it's very unlikely that price controls will become officially enacted. It's not to say that what happens with headlines could impact stock prices, as we've seen in the past few weeks. But I think with the sell-off comes some pretty attractive entry points for stocks. The fundamentals of these stocks that have not changed. We saw this week and late last week, 4 major pharmaceutical companies report. They all beat the consensus estimates. So you could see that the fundamentals are very good in the industry. M&A, it's going to continue. Companies are looking to bolster their R&D pipeline. They're looking to expand growth opportunities. And they're also looking to be opportunistic if they see something that may be undervalued. And as we saw in the news that Pfizer and Allegan are talking to each other about a possible combination.
I just wondered, because you've been in the industry for so long, you said since 2004, what would your comments be then on Valeant and the accounting issues?
I think Valeant is a very interesting model. I have actually spent some time talking to management about a year and a half ago. I sat with them at a lunch meeting. Their model is very different than the research-based model that you see with companies like AbbVie or CELG. And yes, Valeant has a reputation for raising prices, particularly close to the patent expiration time, and that has caught quite a bit of political flack. So it's kind of a perfect storm of some negative headlines, and also sort of questioning, this model, whether it really is sustainable. That you're constantly, acquiring, but you're not building from within. You're not investing in R&D. There's some questions about the sustainability of that model.
And David, you've brought me 3 value ideas, so I'd like to go through them. The first one was Allegan. So, of course, in the news this week. So what are your thoughts?
We like Allegan. We met with management a month ago. We came away very favorably impressed with their growth strategy, where they manage things. And it come on the heels of their decision to divest their generics business to Teva. I think that's a terrific decision. They're going to be focusing on specialty pharma and medical aesthetics. I think those areas have terrific growth potential as well as higher margins. And I want to point out that these are the areas where they can sort of justify the pricing in specialty pharma. Companies spend a lot on R&D to develop products that are innovative and improve people's lives and address, specific needs in oncology, immunology, in aesthetics. That's Botox and some other things. These products are used by people without going through insurance. So, I think that takes it out of those pricing concerns. It's really, whatever the patient wants, whatever patients want to pay. You see people who are, who reach a certain age and they want to preserve their quality of life, and they do turn to aesthetics. So Allergan addresses that. Botox is a nice product for them. They acquired a company called Kythera. Kythera has a product called Kybella, which it kind of like tightens up the double chin. So it's a nice complement to the Botox. And Allegan also has a whole bunch of other drugs in their pipeline in current revenue. There's no one product that constitutes 50% of revenue. So it's really, really well diversified. It's a terrific management company team. As for the possibility of a merger with Pfizer, I think that Allegan has the upper hand. They got a great set of assets. They got a very smart team. They've got $35 billion coming in from Teva. They can call a shot. I don't think they even have to do a deal, or they could just turn around and tell Pfizer, well, we want to, we should be acquiring you guys. We have the domicile in Ireland. We have the favorable tax structure, and that's worth a lot. And we actually want to keep running things. So, however the Allergan Pfizer talks turned out, we like the position of Allergan.
What about CELG?
CELG's another company that I visited. I had a meeting with CFO Peter Kellogg a few weeks ago. CELG focuses on oncology and immunology. They've got a really, really solid pipeline. And, we talk about research. They spend a lot on research, both in-house, on collaborations, and also in their M&A strategy. A good example of that is they acquired a company called Receptos. Receptos is a drug called ozanimod. Ozanimod treats ulcerative colitis. We just had a bunch of clinical results on ozanimod. It looks terrific in treating ulcerative colitis. Also, this drug is taken orally, so it's got some convenience advantages over drugs that are infused, like the class of Humira. So, when ozanimod comes on the market in a few years, that could be a blockbuster.
And the last one was Becton Dickinson.
Becton Dickinson, BDX. They are an equipment company. At the same time, BDX provides systems and instruments that are used by the pharma industry for drug development. So they're a very key part of the industry. Let me just go through what Becton does. One, they make syringes and catheters. That's for blood collection and for drug delivery. They also make diagnostic equipment for rapid detection of viruses, for infections that could be born in hospitals. They put safety features on these devices in order to protect patients and protect healthcare workers. What the nice thing about these safety features is that they enable BDX to get a higher pricing for their products, get better margins. 45% of BDX's revenue is overseas. China is their largest overseas market. That's about 15% of revenue. China's an area where the government wants to extend healthcare access. So, a company like BDX is terrific there. They've got a lot of products that can help the delivery of healthcare. Also, BDX recently acquired CareFusion, gives them a lot more products to sell. CareFusion was not deeply penetrated in overseas markets, so that acquisition gives them a lot more products to sell into BDX's overseas channels.
Thank you very much, David.
You're very welcome.
I've been joined by David Tong, Senior Healthcare Analyst from Argus Research. Thanks for watching.